Mindful Flow this morning, our Zoom-based practice. For those of you who are joining live, always lovely to see you here. For anyone watching this later on the recording online, we're welcome you as well. And if you'd ever want to send me a message, reach out. There's opportunities to join live as well. So anyone that happens to catch this online that would like to do some live practices, this is what you'll get. And just like I said, send me a message and we can set that up. But today's practice is going to continue with our Back to Basics series throughout the month of September. We'll see. We might even extend it later depending on how many we get to and if I feel like changing it up at the end of the month. But we've done a lot of the basic postures so far that typically show up in most any gentle or vinyasa flowing class. So today I thought we would take a look at Bhujangasana, or Cobra pose. Bhujanga is known as serpent or snake in the ancient Sanskrit language. And so Bhujangasana is the posture of the cobra or the snake. And so when we think about that serpent, that's cobra especially, rising up and providing that beautiful little S curve, and then having the body or the tail out behind, then that is what we are trying to manifest in our own body. It is a wonderful pose to open the chest, to spread and open the ribs and heart, aids in respiration, lengthens the entire front body. So when we think about the front body, we're actually starting with the tops of the feet and rolling all the way up the legs into the chest and up in the throat and the face and head. So it's a beautiful opener for the front body. And so we'll talk a little bit more about that as we get into the demo portion of the practice. But I hope you enjoy this one and hope it enhances your flow moving forward. So go ahead and take a comfortable seat just for a couple of minutes. We'll kind of settle everything down, plant the seeds for the space and the environment we want to create for this practice. I invite you, as always, to close your eyes, or if you prefer not to have your eyes all the way closed, that's okay. Just bring your gaze softly forward and down, and maybe just allow the eyelids to rest and become a little dimmer so that we're not bringing our attention away from ourselves. We're really starting to move within. Go ahead and take a nice deep breath in to begin today. Feeling that breath open up through the passageways, drifting down into the lungs. And then exhale, let it roll back out like a wave. Again, inhale through the nose. Bring it all the way in and down. Let your chest lift and widen as you expand. And then exhale like a wave in the ocean, rolling right back out. Keep that going. Nice, soft, thorough inhalations, and maybe even bring to mind the shape of the cobra, softly lifting and expanding the chest as it rises, and softening back down as you release. With each expansive inhalation, feel the nourishment and energy moving in your body purposefully, mindfully. As you release and exhale each time, Let go of anything stale, anything that is not serving your highest purpose. Let's take 3 more full inhalations, just like that, and subsequent exhalations, really clearing and opening up capacity to nourish ourselves throughout this practice. Conclusion of that third breath out, feel free to open your eyes, bring your gaze softly forward. We're going to actually take another breath in, but this time we're going to purposefully lift up through the spine, roll the shoulders back, and widen the collarbones as we tilt the chin upward and hold ourselves in a little mini cow tilt, a little seated cow. Feeling the throat open up, relaxing the shoulders away from the ears. As you exhale the next time, go ahead and let your back round. Let the shoulders roll forward. Chin can come down to your chest, even rocking backwards on the back of your lumbar spine so that you're just allowing that back to really get a nice roll forward. Pausing here for a breath or two, just feeling the stretch and gentle opening. Really nice. Come forward once again and come back up to your seat. If you're sitting on a blanket, go ahead and take that away. I'm going to flip my legs around, and we're actually going to roll down on our back. Do make sure that you have a blanket nearby. We're going to use it in a couple of different ways today. So make sure that you do have a blanket, or if you don't have a yoga blanket, then a large towel is always nice and can do the same thing. So have that on standby and go ahead and roll down, laying on your back with the feet about hip distance apart on the mat. So we're going to initially just take a few pelvic tilts with our breath, inhaling and tilting the pelvis upward, keeping the base of the belly and the spine on the floor, but just curving the tailbone upward toward the ceiling and feeling it reach and stretch. And then as you exhale next time, go ahead and drop the tailbone down. Roll the lumbar spine all the way to the very tip. You're going to create a little anterior tilt here that's going to create some space in the lumbar spine. So you'll feel that little space open up. And then inhale, tilt it up, stretching and reaching. You're going to activate those lower abs to help create that pelvic tilt. And then exhale, roll it down to the very tip. Again, inhale. Take the pelvic tilt. This time hold that in place. And I want you to spread your collarbones wide. Feel them reaching to the outside of the mat and activate the backs of the shoulder blades. So those shoulder blades, the backs of the shoulders, really press them down so you're getting as much width as you can, flattening out through the upper chest. And then release it all the way down. Once again, exhale and go down to the tip of the tailbone. We're going to activate all of that again. So go right back to where we were on that last breath, opening through the upper chest, pressing the shoulder blades down, and this time we're going to lift the hips, coming into just a baby bridge. So just a really soft baby bridge. Really feeling the upper body and paying a little bit more attention to the upper body here than we normally would in bridge pose. That's why I'm going to let those hips just kind of rise a little bit. Keep your gaze looking upward. So don't turn your head, even if you're watching this on a screen. Let's keep the head facing upward and just listen to my voice. Stay here. Keep pressing those shoulder blades down. Collarbones are really nice and wide. Even press down through the fingertips and the hands to help activate the arms. One more breath here, holding into this baby bridge. And then exhale, release everything down. Come just to a natural posture and hug your knees into your chest. Wrapping your arms around your knees. Take a deep breath in. Lift your head up. Stretch your forehead toward your knees, so curling up into a nice tight little ball. And then let everything come down once again. Go ahead and roll gently to one side and just help yourself up. Come on up to a seated position. We're going to stretch the legs down in front and flex through the feet. You might want to remove the flesh from the sitting bones just so you have a nice firm seat foundation, plugging your seat right into the mat. And once you do that, it sort of activates the energy up through the spine, so you have a nice flat back and good spinal posture. You're going to inhale up, reach the arms overhead. Exhale, we're going to do one forward fold, hinging from the hips, coming forward with a flat back and just reaching the heart forward, like the heart itself wants to reach over your feet and off of the mat. Lengthen through your spine. Make sure that your neck is a nice long extension of your spine, so we're not cranking it up and back. We're not going to let it drop down right here, but we're really creating a nice straight flat back. And then wherever your hands have dropped, engage the tips of your fingers, and maybe just with those fingertips, walk the fingers forward, creating a little traction on the spine, almost as if someone was pulling you forward. And sometimes it's just the easiest bit of an inch, but you'll feel a little additional stretch in the hamstrings, behind the knees, and in the lower back, which is often really delicious and quite needed. Take a deep breath in. Exhale. Come on back up to the top. We're going to take the left arm across the body. Palm is going to be facing out toward the right side. And then we're going to flip that hand so the palm is facing inward. Cross it over the right leg. Bring it down on the right calf. So we're crossing the arm over. Right hand is off to a T off the shoulder. And then start to twist open to the right, tilting your pelvis ever so slightly and just gently bringing the straight right arm, rotating it around to the back. It may not reach the back of the mat. You may only come halfway. It's fine. I just want you to feel a little bit of that spinal twist. And if you feel it, if you want to, you can slide that left hand a little further down. Maybe that left hand reaches for the outside of the ankle. This is just going to deepen the intensity of this twist and of the stretch in the side body. So only do that if that feels appropriate for you. Breath in, breath out. Bring the right hand back to the front. We're going to try that on the other side. So right hand is going to reach out front, cross it over the midline, so now it's facing the left side of the mat, and then flip the palm toward the center line. Reach down, just place that hand anywhere on the outside of that left leg. Maybe it's on the calf, maybe it's up near the knee. And then bring the left arm off to a T. Start a little bit of a twist, really slowly, not compromising the spinal lift, but really keeping that nice and tall. And then just move just so far as it feels appropriate for you. Reach and lift. We're feeling stretch in the right side of the leg, so you're getting a side stretch down that left IT band. I said right, I meant left. Left IT band. And then if you want to, slide the right hand down. It's just going to intensify the side stretch. So just go so much as it feels right for you. And then maybe hold that for another breath. Bring that left arm back around to the front. All right, very good. Come on into tabletop. And we'll come to hands and knees. We'll move just a tiny little bit here more before we get into our Cobra discussion. So come to tabletop position. Let's take a couple of cat-cows, dropping the belly down, lifting forward with the heart and pressing it between the arms. Again, it's like the heart has a mind of its own and it wants to jump off the front of the mat. So you're really pressing it forward. And then exhale, let your head dip down. Bring your chin to the breastbone. Lift up through the upper back. Beautiful cat stretch. Deep inhale is going to scoop that belly down and forward. Come back to cow. Exhale, dip it down, take it to cat. Let's take that one more time all the way through. And exhale. Come back to the middle. Go ahead and open your knees wide. Bring the big toes together to touch. And let your hips sink back towards your heels. Slide your arms forward. Let the belly and the upper body melt down and bring your forehead to the floor. Take it to a nice wide-legged child's pose. 3 deep breaths here. Release and breathe, especially into the lower back. We worked on child's pose in our last basics class together, so if there's some variation you want to take here, some of those modifications we discussed, don't forget to honor your body and take those steps. All right, inhale and come back up to all fours. Bring the knees back up under the hips. Got one more stretch here. We're going to take the left elbow down underneath the shoulder, and then we're going to reach the right arm forward. So now in this one, I'm keeping my hips and knees stacked. You can see my knees and hips are in a nice line. And all I'm going to do is stretch my right arm forward. We're going to pull with those fingertips again. Those fingertips are going to reach and provide a beautiful stretch all the way up the right side of the body. And then my head is going to rest down on top of my left forearm. So you're getting a deep, deep stretch under the right arm and the armpit, all the way back through the ribs, and you'll feel it as it connects to the right hip. This is Anahatasana, or half melting heart. So once you're in this position with your stretch, see if you can release the heart downward, just letting the upper back hollow out. One more breath. Slide the right hand back. Plant the palm down underneath the shoulder. And then we'll try that on the other side. So now the right elbow comes down under the shoulder, the left arm reaches forward, and you just stretch and get as much length as it feels appropriate from your left fingers all the way back to that left hip. Pulling yourself forward through the fingertips. And then letting your heart just drop down heavily once again, melting to the earth. Two more full breaths here. Make them nice and long, nourishing breaths, just as we did at the beginning of practice. As you exhale, bring that left hand back up under, come back to tabletop position. All right, so we're going to talk a little bit about Cobra here, so you can take a comfortable seat just for the next couple of minutes as I move through a really quick demo, and then we'll do some practicing together. So Cobra, let's talk about Cobra. Cobra is a backbend. It is a backbend because we are arching through the upper back. We are rolling forward with the heart and pressing the heart forward, creating this beautiful extension through the upper body. The backbend extends from the tops of your feet all the way up, as I said, to the throat and over the head. It kind of stops here, to be honest, but it kind of comes all the way up to your face. So in Cobra, it is deeply opening in the front body. Therefore, it's not just in the back, which is why I say it's a back bend for the full body. It really starts, as do most of our postures, with the feet. So we're going to start by coming into a prone position on the belly. And leg distance can be really optional. Your legs ought to be either hip distance, which is about here, or depending on your comfort level, they can be a little bit wider. So really you just want to make sure that your legs are comfortable down, not together, but either hip distance or wider. We're going to roll down to the tops of the feet, pressing down if we can, so that we feel all the way from the pinky toe to the big toe. So again, we're using the full real estate of the feet, starting with the outside of the pinky toe and rolling down. Once those feet are activated, you'll notice that you activate the legs as well, and you'll feel the quads begin to respond. As that activation works up through the body, go ahead and press down through the lower core, the abdomen muscles. The pubic bone is a really good focus point to feel like it's pushing down and activating that lower core and giving you strength and stability through the middle part of the body. So now we've got the lower part of the body. We're not even going to worry about the upper part to begin. I want you to bring your hands just outside of your, underneath or to the outside of your shoulders. But keep the pressure really, really light on the floor. So in this way, I can lift my arms up and my upper body is not really doing any work. It's the core and the legs that are propelling me forward. They're propelling my back and heart and head forward. So this, with the hands just barely touching the mat, would be a baby cobra, a very low baby cobra, where we have the crown of the head reaching forward, but we're activating the lift from the legs and the lower body. All right, so that is where we're starting. Eventually, we will press down with the hands a little bit more energetically, and we'll bring that lift all the way up into the upper body, and then you're going to determine how far up you want to bring your cobra, whether the arms are more or less, coming a lot straighter whether they're halfway down or anything in between. And all of that is going to depend on your body structure. So, having said all of that, there are a few modifications to keep in mind with Cobra. If you feel what I call a crunching or a compression in the lower back, you can bring those feet a little bit wider, and sometimes that will help to relieve the lower back compression. You could also, if it's if it's really uncomfortable and Cobra is just not doing your body good to even go into it, you can always bring those elbows forward and take a Sphinx pose with the forearms down, and you're still going to get the lift in the upper back, but it's just not quite as intense for those pressure points. So you can always feel free to take a Sphinx pose. So let's go ahead and try this a few times. Bringing your hands just lightly down, we're going to activate those feet first, pressing down through the tops of the feet. Feeling your quads pressing down and then activating into the lower core by pushing the pubic bone down into the mat. This is your fulcrum, this is your energy, your stability point in the body. You're going to hug those elbows into the body, so we make sure that they're not reaching out, but they're hugging in. And then coming into a baby cobra, just feel yourself propel forward through the strength of your core and your legs. Your heart is reaching forward. Your neck is nice and long, so there's no reason to crank that neck back, but really lengthen it forward. Take a breath here. Release. We'll take another breath in baby cobra. And release. Go ahead and bring your arms forward, cross them in front, bring your forehead down on your hands, and relax your body in Makarasana or crocodile pose, just letting everything be soft and gentle. Full breath in, exhale, always being mindful about the breath, even if we're being quiet and not moving. Use this time to nourish your body. All right, so let's try that again. We're going to start with the feet once again, pressing down through the tops of the feet, activating the legs, pushing down through the pubic bone, feeling that energy propel up through the heart. This time I want you to pay a little more attention to the upper body as well. Bringing the shoulder blades together in the back. So we're feeling the shoulder blades press away from the ears, and then you can put a little bit of light pressure on the hands. Start to feel the lift, and again, determine what feels appropriate to you as far as lifting up and how far you go. I think a good rule of thumb is that only go so far as you're feeling the appropriate effect in the upper back. If it begins to feel like there's a strain in the shoulders or in the low back or in the neck or anywhere else, then let yourself come down a little bit lower. So don't feel any compulsion to press yourself all the way up just to create that amazing cobra experience or shape. We are honoring our body, and we are allowing our body to respond in the appropriate way. All right, come on down. Bring those arms down in front and take a break one more time. Let everything go and soften. Deep breath in and breath out. All right, go ahead and bring your hands on either side of the shoulders. Go ahead and roll yourself up, widen those knees once again, press back to a really delicious child's pose here. Letting once again the head drop down to the mat. Relax the arms, that graceful curve of the upper back and the tailbone lengthening down. One more breath. Nice. Come on back up to hands and knees. And so we're going to start to move a little bit. We're going to engage with a few cobras along the way and see if some of those action points don't help to enhance or maybe bring some more ease to your flow today. All right, so starting off in tabletop, let's curl those toes under. Press the hips up and back and take it to a nice downward facing dog. Deep breath in as you rise. Exhale and press those thighs to the back of the mat. Again, in. Powering down through the palms. Exhale, release. One more breath. Exhale. Walk your feet up to the front of the mat. Come to a forward fold position, Bhujangasana. Letting your head just drop down. Let's release those shoulders a little bit. Hands can be on the blocks, or they can be all the way down. Take your choice. And then slowly start to rise up. Lifting up slowly so no one gets dizzy. Arms reach out to the side. Urdhva Hastasana. Take it to upward facing hands. Deep breath in. Exhale, forward fold once again. Bring your hands all the way down and step it back again to downward facing. From downward facing dog, we're going to bring the right foot forward to a lunge position. So bring the right foot all the way up to the front of the mat. Left leg nice and strong. Hands on blocks or the mat. Breathe, extend the crown of the head forward and lift up strongly through that left thigh. Exhale, drop the left knee down. Slowly, just let it descend down. We're going to lift up for Anjaneyasana, low crescent. Reaching the arms up and then opening them to goddess arms, bringing the elbows out on either side of the shoulders. Hands nice and wide. Maybe engaging in a little back bend here as well, if that feels okay. Exhale, bring the hands forward and down. And go ahead and lift the left leg back up. Slide the right leg back, take it to downward facing dog. Inhale, come to tabletop position. Exhale, roll it on down to your belly. We're going to flow into a cobra. So slither it down. Plant those feet. Engage through the core. Propel your energy forward, taking it to a low baby cobra. Or lifting up. Always your call. Stay here for one breath, whichever variation you take. And then exhale, lower down. Inhale, press back up to table, and then lift those hips. Go all the way back to downward facing dog. Stay here for one breath. Exhale. Inhale the left leg forward, runner's lunge. Lengthen forward. Exhale, stay here. Inhale again. And on your exhale, lower the right knee this time. Inhale, lifts you up. Low crescent. First arms reaching up to the sky. And then exhale, elbows out by the sides. Again, heart is open. Dropping those shoulders away from the ears. Inhale once again deeply and exhale, hands forward and down. Inhale your right leg up. Slide your left leg back. Downward facing dog. Inhale, come forward down to your knees. And then exhale, let it lower down. You know where we're going? Bhujangasana. Plant those feet down. Activate the legs, the core. Energy rising and propelling forward. Lifting up as you are ready. Staying here for one breath. Inhale. Exhale, lower it down. Inhale, press all the way up to your hands and knees, and this time back to child's pose. Release that tailbone down, curve. Breathe into the lumbar spine. Let your head and forehead relax down on the mat. Deep breath in. Exhale. Inhale and come back to all fours position. Lift your knees up. Press back to downward facing dog. Walk up to the front of your mat. Just tiptoe up and come to Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, walk your hands up the body. Lift up slowly, rise to the top. Full body stretch. Reaching for the clouds. And exhale, forward fold once again, hinging at your hips. This time we're going to step back with the left foot. Starting in a lunge position, but we're going to drop the heel down. Right knee is bent. We're lifting up, facing forward in Warrior One. So again, here's another one we worked on a week or so ago, pressing down through the outside of the left ankle. This time we really have a nice opening in that upper body with all of those cobras, so we feel the expansion across the chest. Relax those shoulders down. Again, bring the elbows out to the side. Maybe lift that chin and jut it forward. Tiny little back bend in your Warrior One. Inhale, arms up. Step it forward to the front of the mat. Arms reach up and overhead. And then exhale, dive forward. Stepping back with the right foot. We're going to do the same thing. Right foot back, heel down, left knee bent, Warrior One. Rise up, build it from the ground up. Really feel all four corners of the feet, especially on that right foot, outside of the ankle. And then you can feel the lift and expansion, ballooning your lungs open. Deep breath in, bring the arms out to the side, open the fingers wide. Another deep breath. Bring the hands up, reach them forward, step to the front of the mat. Arms overhead. Exhale, cascade like a waterfall, forward fold. Step your feet back to downward facing dog. One full breath here. Exhale. Inhale, come forward, knees down. Exhale, take it to Cobra one more time. Slither down on your exhale. Establish your feet, legs, energy, lift, roll it forward. Deep breath in and out. We're going to stay here for 3 breaths. So keep pressing down through the thighs and the abs. One more breath. You've got this. Exhale, let it come down. Roll it on back, lift up, and once again, take it to a beautiful child's pose. Releasing between the legs. Nice. On back up to all fours position. Keep those knees a little bit wider than your hips. Let's thread the needle, opening the right arm up, swinging it down and through, getting a beautiful stretch in the upper back as we release down on the right shoulder and shoulder blade. Breathe and feel that stretch along the thoracic spine, opening up those shoulder blades, really pulling them apart. Nice. One more breath here. Lift on up. Come back to all fours position. Left arm is going to sweep up and back. And then come down underneath the right and feel that wonderful stretch now on the other side. Come back to your breath. Never missing an opportunity for full inhalation and exhalation. The amazing nourishment calming effect it has on the system. This is why you feel so good after yoga. It's not so much the physical work, it is the breath. That's what gives you the high. So enjoy it. Press down into the right hand, lift back up. And take your right knee, cross it behind your left, and we're just going to sit back on the hips, feeling a little bit of an internal rotation on the hips as we fold over them. And as you sit backwards with those knees crossed, bring your elbows down on the mat, drop your head, and then bring your hands up behind your head. So connecting your palms up over your head, like a little prayer hand. And then feel that stretch in the triceps as well as your head reaches down towards your knees. Relax through your hips if you can. One more breath. Bring your hands forward, come back up to all fours, and then cross the other leg behind. If that's too hard for you to come down all the way, go ahead and grab one of your blocks. I should have said that on the first pass through. You can always bring a block back behind you as well, and just let your hips rest on the block. Still folding the front part of your body down. Bending your elbows, bringing your hands behind your head. And then feeling that little additional stretch in the triceps. Forward, uncross your legs, untangle everything, and go ahead and come down to your seat. Oh, you know what I was going to do? Before we roll on down, We're going to use that blanket. So before we roll all the way down for our cool down, go ahead and take a blanket if you have one. Roll it up into a nice tight blanket roll. We're going to do one more little sequence with the upper back. This one is going to be much more restorative though, so it's a nice way to end our practice. So we're going to lay down on the belly once again, and we're just going to push that blanket right up into the lower ribs. So as soon as you push it into the lower ribs, you'll feel a really good support. If you're using a towel, you might have to use a couple of towels together to get the same effect. But you're going to feel yourself just floating here in the front because the blanket is taking all of the support. Then we're just going to cross the arms in front, or you can take a block if you like. Bring your forehead down on the block and just rest your arms forward. So this is a supported or a restorative version of Sphinx pose. So now we can get the benefit of still engaging in some of the back bend, but also enjoy the restorative benefits of just softening and releasing all of the muscles of the upper back and the shoulders especially. Shoulders can be nice and loose here. And with the forehead down on the block, we are stimulating the vagus nerve, which helps to calm the body, relaxes your mind. So relax and soften your glutes. Here we don't have to press down, we don't have to push through the core, we get to soften and completely release. Back. Press yourself up. One more posture for us. So you can move the blanket out of the way. Come to all fours position. Go ahead and drop your head down. Take it into a deep cat stretch. So really pushing the upper back down, letting the crown of the head drop straight down. And then we're going to walk the hands backwards toward the knees, keeping the arch in the back as we go. We're taking hare or rabbit pose. So walk your hands all the way back so that the wrists are right in front of your knees. And then start to bend your elbows and let the crown of your head drop straight down. So we are not going to touch the head, we're just going to barely graze the top of the head to the mat. We're pushing up still through the arch, so we're maintaining that cat stretch. Breathe into this beautiful rounding of the back. Tailbone all the way up through the crown of the head. If you wish, you can remove your hands, bring them back towards your heels, and grab a hold of your heels.
Also have the option, without compromising the pose, of bringing the hands behind your back, interlacing the fingers, and if you wish, lifting the hands up toward the ceiling, creating your beautiful rabbit ears. Now that's a more active version of the pose, so you don't have to go to the hand position. You can keep it right where we were. Make sure you're bringing your hands back down on either side of your head. Rising up, bringing the head forward, and then sit back, coming out of rabbit. It's a beautiful counter pose to the deep back bend of Bhujangasana. All right, so now let's go ahead and roll down. Come down on our back. Go ahead and let the feet float up to the ceiling. Open your feet, open your knees wide. Come into happy baby for a few breaths, just grabbing a hold of your shins or ankles or feet. Letting your shoulders roll out and down. Pressing your lower back all the way down to the earth. Deep belly breaths here. In. Out. In. Out. And one more deep breath. Balasana, blissful baby. Bring your feet down. Go ahead and slide them down the mat. Or if you want to, if you've got that blanket roll still around, why don't you just pull it up underneath your knees for Shavasana today. It's a nice way to help decompress the lower back is by lifting the knees up. So since we've got that in place, it works nicely. And just let the legs waterfall and flow over the support. From here, relax all the way down. Mindfully starting with the feet and seeing if you can identify any areas where you can release extra tension. Anything that you're still holding or gripping within the body. Yourself a chance to let it go. The body's natural state is ease. The natural state of the heart is peace. Side of this peace and ease when we allow the mind to construct things that take us away from our natural state. So part of the job and part of the practice of yoga is learning to overpower those tendencies of the mind toward worry, toward fear, just experience the bliss of being in a state of ease and peace. yourself back. Offering some movement through hands and feet. Bringing the breath down into the belly. And then out with a sigh. As you're ready, tuck your knees in, maybe rock back and forth. Massage the lower back, the sacrum. And as you're ready, roll on up. And we'll close our practice together, lifting the arms up, reaching them overhead into this sacred space of our own making. Breathe in and then exhale deeply into your heart space as you bow in Anjali Mudra. May you have peace of mind and peace of heart all the rest of this beautiful day. Thank you so much for practicing. Om Shanti and Namaste.